Thank you. Well, my name is Rebecca Reynolds. I use she, her pronouns. My husband and I have two cisgender sons, and we have a transgender daughter. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about our experience with our journey with our daughter. My daughter Lexi, and I tell you all of this with her permission, came out when she was 16 as trans. It became immediately apparent to us that we were dealing with systems that were woefully ignorant of her needs. An education system, a medical system, a social system, and a legal system. My first step was to call her pediatrician, who immediately told me that she had no experience as a primary care for any trans patients. Their practice had one trans patient before for about 6 months. It was a family that lived in Highlands Ranch, and they had been forced to move because of the harassment that they'd experienced. They moved to Boulder. So I was like, okay, great to hear. Our second step was to go and see Lexi's therapist, a trusted space, a provider with a PhD in psychology, and had been fantastic with her identifying as gay as she shared her story and her news about figuring out that she actually was trans. He pushed his chair back from the desk and he said, "Whoa, this is way more than my pay grade," and then proceeded to tell her that he would never write her a letter for hormones. My kiddo left that appointment in tears and shaking and saying to me, "How hard is this journey going to be for us?" I immediately started researching gender specialists in the Denver metro area, looking for referrals from folks in the community. Every single person that I found that was referred or that had a specialism in gender affirming therapy was out of network, without exception. When I looked in our search engine of our insurance provider, anything pertaining to gender dysphoria or the LGBTQIA community at large came up with nothing, absolutely nothing. It was like her diagnosis and her new community were completely invisible. She became actively suicidal as a result of harassment and discrimination in school, and it became obvious to our family that she needed more support than we could provide at home and just with therapy. And after dozens of phone calls trying to find a facility that was in our network and where I felt like she would receive competent care, we found a facility. She had an amazing intake, great social worker, extremely kind, very compassionate, assured us that they deal with trans patients all the time and that she would be taken, she'd be affirmed. And he came in and sat down with my husband and I and said, "Well, I'm pleased to tell you we have found her a room in a men's ward." And this is an 18-year-old young woman who has been socially transitioned for 2 years, whose legal name and gender marker have been changed. And I said to him, is there ever an instance that you would put me in a men's ward? And he looked shocked and said, "Well, no." And I said, "Then over my dead body, are you putting my child in one?" And he went off and spoke to his manager, and within minutes he came back and said, "We've found her a room in a private room on a co-ed ward." And I said, "Fine with me if that's fine with her." It did not feel good leaving my child in that facility, not really feeling like they truly had an idea of the care that she needed. In our experience, there is this consistent theme in the medical system of being given the impression that they've got it all covered and they've seen it all before. There's such a big difference to me in thinking that you've got it all covered and actually providing clinically and culturally competent care. I don't feel like my expectations should be that I feel grateful when my child gets competent care. I don't feel like I should hope that she's safe when she goes to a provider. And it's become apparent to me that we really need to do a lot more around education when it comes to creating understanding and empathy. She's the most beautiful human being, and it's just I just need to find a way to make a more affirming environment for her. Thank you. I did it on time. Yay.